3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome to two of the very best Company of Heroes 3 players the world has to offer us this present day. We have Havok playing as the United States Forces. We've got Zulu playing as the Wizard Army of the North. And it's Pacino stalemate. So let's hunker down, bunker down, and enjoy what should be a very, very good game indeed. Or at least the player that gave me this replay told me it was. Both players, by the way, when they give me replays, it doesn't necessarily mean that they win. They just want to see a good game casted as well as it possibly can be. So I don't know why they gave it to me, but regardless, they did. And I'm casting it, I shall. So, we've got Italian Coastal Battle Group, meaning Grenadiers? So he clearly wants to have the abilities to Faust and to merge. So that's why one would go for a Grenadier over the Italian Coastals. So just an idea there. Meanwhile, Havok has gone for the double scout build, which could indicate we're going to go for advanced infantry and turn them into spotting units. Well, they're already spotters. What the hell is it bloody called when you make them into the... I can do this. Artillery observers. They're not scouting, they're observing. That makes so much sense, guys. I mean, come on, it's obvious. They're observers, not scouts anymore. And then if they get to Vet 3, they become lookers. It's an incredible system. Makes complete sense. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. People are eking out what they can from this new battle group on both sides. In 1v1, you don't necessarily see the same things you're going to see in 4v4. And to be honest, the players are still iterating on exactly what they want to do. I noticed that Orange Pest, for example, builds the medical bunker. I'm interested to see what Zulu does, being a good friend of Orange Pest. And I'm also interested to see what's going to happen with these two scouts. What various form of eye-based combat they're going to engage in. Just a few pitter-patters of fire so far, nothing too heavy going. We do have this cut-off currently being poked around in by... Oh, did you see that? They just did a little sprint jump into the cut-off. It still leaves this +5 fuel connected, but it does get... Well, actually, it doesn't do that much, because if you look on the map, everything else is... Well, bloody hell, the tap map's so much better these days, isn't it? But there are two MGs emerging out of Zulu's base. He played in the 2v2 Tag Team Championships of AECO Productions, which is my my kind of wrestling promotion of Company of Heroes. I won't say who won, but I will say that Zulu played very well with support weapons, which is kind of surprising because Zulu is known to be a very aggressive player, but he's, you know, a pretty well-rounded Company of Heroes player, to be honest, all in all. That's a very good spot for a mine. It's, of course, a highly channeled area. It's a crossroads, a mini crossroads. So, yeah, very, very decent mine spot. And it's immediately going to pop. No, it's not. There's a... How did they get into that door? Okay, maybe they used the other one. But it looked like they used that one. My bad, my bad. That +5 has been taken away. We've also had a flare go up. One of these scouts clearly has the package, and they're able to see... It's this one. He's smoking his friend out of position, having spotted the MG with the flare. That's a really good utility of the package. We've got ISG for Havok. Captain's out now. And to be honest, the aggressive plays have all been Havok so far. You can see that the map is well in his favour. He's pushed up past the equator, and he's in Zulu territory. Speaking Swahili. And all that kind of good stuff. There's the mine. Oh, I love how it pushed... It threw bricks off the sides of each of those houses. The renovation bill in Pacino is going to go through the roof. Quite literally, actually. MGs are a little bit worse for wear. Any sign of... there we go. First building under construction. The Luftwaffe Company. I had to be... I know it's the Luftwaffe Company, but when I look at it, I see this little thing. I need to remember what they look like for my new casting. In fact, I need to start like pub quiz testing myself, because the optimal casting like visual area barely has any of the game covered, as we all know. But if you're a boomer gamer like myself and you play about 2 hours a week, you're not going to remember all the names and how everything is related to its name by small gifts. But to be honest, no one goes Panzer Grenadier Company anymore. I just thought, if anybody would, it might be somebody like Zulu, maybe somebody like Dex, and somebody that thinks outside the box. But there aren't many reasons to go Panzer Grenadier Company at the moment. I heard Orange Pest on earlier today on stream describe it as they have no mobile anti-tank. So, you know, that's not great. It's all about the 221, which is at first anti-infantry, then it's anti-tank when you've got the upgrade. And you are going to want to go Luftwaffe Company pretty much every game. We have gone for armoured battle groups with the first two free abilities. Raid and Fast Deploy have been chosen. You can see we've got Designate Defensive Line. It's not the worst ability in the world, I just don't see it that often. It's been proven to be pretty handy, especially in team games. Mortar is an ever-present choice for USF on Pashino Stalemate in particular, and that's because, of course, mortars are good in an urban environment because they lob shells over the houses. Very simplistic way of looking at things, but it's also pretty bloody accurate. Now, this is optimal in my opinion for Wehrmacht. It's to go for a Jaeger with a Shrek to stop a Shafi rush, because the next vehicle out from Wehrmacht is likely to be the Panzer IV, in all honesty. So you're going to want to protect... wow, that's not a good retreat path. Oh. Ah! He helped him out there. 221 helped him on the retreat path. That could have been a squad wipe, because he had all this stuff coming on the apex of this tree line there, but then the 221 blocked the retreat path and helped him back to base. We do have the... well, I don't know if I want to talk about the Greyhound too much. Let's just check if he's got the Shrek coming out. No, he hasn't. Greyhounds hit a mine immediately. And that is the problem, isn't it, for USF? Up against coastal defense. You're up against so many mines. They're cheaper, they're easier to plant. Not that we've actually got any coastal reserves this game, but in general, later on they become a massive problem. Ooh, Captain could be going down, and he's dead. Oh, yeah, he's dead. Oh. He had a small window of opportunity. Let's see what else he was concentrating on, possibly manoeuvring something up here. We do have the Panzerbuska upgrade now for the 221, as ever. Got 2 or 3 minutes of anti-infantry fighting, and then it can keep the Greyhound at bay. Pretty nifty game design, to be honest. It's going to be something we're going to be talking about for the next 10 years until Company Heroes 4 has its very faulted release. Then it begins its journey into being patched into reality. It's a 10-year cycle. Gosh, I'll be in my 40s when that happens. That'll be fun. Hang on. Whoa. I've just realised that Company Heroes 1 was released when I was a teenager. 1. Then Company Heroes 2 was released when I was... That's right. I was 22. Then Company Heroes 3 was released when I was 32. It's following the decade of my life. I can't wait for CoH 7 when I'm 70. Hello there and welcome! It's going to be amazing. Jaegers and Pioneers are trying to cut the rifles off, but they're going to soft retreat post. No, they're going to need to hard retreat sooner rather than later. Scouts were just, in the end, used for their upgrades and the ability to cap them up. It's not the worst idea of all time, but yeah, it's a bit of a dummy and a feint, maybe, from Havok. Maybe that's one reason he also goes for it. Tries to you know, convince his opponent. Oh, could have been a wipe there, if not for the 25% retreat modifier. And pretty much every other iteration of CoH that would have been a wipe. M8 shot on a mine on a low health 2-man Pioneer squad on retreat. I can't believe he survived. Oh dear. Faust in. Panzerbuska whittling around. Right, M8's off cruise shock. He's got to get out of there. He's got to keep driving. Didn't fancy it. Thought there could be an AT grenade on the rifles. Not a bad idea. Meanwhile, this MG has been surrounded and pounded by a double Greyhound. Build order from Havok. Any sign of Panzer Company? Not that I can see. We've got the flak 20. I was going to say 20 centimeter. That'd be big, wouldn't it? Right, we've got advanced weaponry apparently. Soon available. It is indeed 2 centimeters. Just like your little chap down there. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it, Armin? No bars as at this point in time. Clearly looking to be like a motor pool spam strategy, possibly. There's that flare package used yet again for the scouts. Flak forcing them off. And we've got 3 victory points in USF favour. Not sure if the victory points... If the Fair had that many victory points at this point in time. Engineer about to die. And there's a Panzerbuska kill. Engineer actually survived. The other Greyhound came in to try and get some measure of vengeance, but got Fausted as a result. This could be really bad. 1 dying is bad, but 2 dying could be game-ending. Here comes the 2-2-1. You can see it coming. Shot in the dark, perhaps. Grenz. Oh, he missed. Just barely. Oh, but he gets the kill with a Greyhound. There's RNG in a nutshell. Bars have popped, by the way, on these rifles. But that was unlucky there for Zulu, it has to be said. Double MG pushing out. He really wants that. He's got through. No infantry's getting near this victory point for a really long time. 2 MGs and the flak 2 centimeter. There's indeed the flak 30. And there's the Chaffee. Almost instantly building, but he's going to be up against the verbal Wind. Tell you what, this is about as meta as it gets from Wehrmacht. I'm kind of thinking Armoured isn't non-meta for USF. I know it's one of the less chosen battle groups, but all of the US battle groups can be decent. Oh, you've got to be thinking mines, surely. You see Pioneers, you think mines. Can't really keep trundling down that road. Yep, scouts didn't have much chance to break into this area, as we discussed earlier. Let's see. Mine detonates there. There's confirming at least 1 mine is operational. Greyhound just getting on around the edge of that heavy cover. Verbally Wind is going to rescind your rifles back to base. Ooh, scouts possibly going down a bit here, I imagine something like that. That's the phosphorus shells used, just slowing the vehicle down, keeping it in place. Yeah, Chaffee's going to want to reverse away there. Greyhound marauding in the west. Good little game so far. Look at that shell. Is that the delayed fuse shells? No. Airburst. Lovely. Nice. Right then, a lull in activity as we recover our units and get ready for the next level of fighting. Bars find the MG, so does the M8, but it's going to get back to base. We all know what's going to happen there. Really do hope that time to kill is lowered ever so slightly for the next batch. Just to, you know, maybe between 5 and 10%, and maybe think about getting rid of the retreat modifier, or making it less bad, I mean, less strong. This M8 should be fine. He's more nimble than his predator, able to evade him. Shells continuously whistling, causing look at the destruction physics. Lovely stuff. MG's gonna have to get out of there. Right then. Check back in base. We've got more. We've got the Marder coming out next. And that's pretty much why you never see tier 2.5. It's always tier 2. Always Luftwaffe, never Panzer. Because, I mean, why would you need a Stug when you can build a Marder? Why would you need anything from that tier, really? Panzer Grenadiers are whelm. And there's one thing they could do. They could rework 2.5, get rid of Panzer Grenadiers from Wehrmacht. I mean, they're already on DAC. I've never quite understood why you've got two Panzer Grenadiers in two places within two tech trees. That'd be nice. Maybe Panzer Fusiliers, something like that. They're probably, I would imagine, to stop designing assets for CoH3 now. I think everything in the game files is what we're going to see most likely. But there is a lot in the game files. That's the exciting thing. With something like Panzer Fusiliers, you could probably reskin something else. Chaffee light tank is accounted for. That's 2 Chaffies he's got now. Using the new ability of the Marder. We'll have to pop ourselves over to Zulu. It's called Sight Main Gun. You're sighting that main gun. I don't know what else you're going to do with the main gun. Usually they just randomly shoot casually. But then they're given the order to sight it as well. Ooh. He's preparing a Chaffee storm. Gonna run right into a sighted main gun if he's not careful down that road. No signs of grenades utilised. He's just got bars on each rifle. He's got rifles standing there, just keeping the victory point situation marginally under control. I think the VPs are the wrong way around this game, by the way. Again, I have reported this to Relic, along with a few other bugs in replay mode. Yep, he's thinking about it. Like the look of it anymore. Another scout soon to die. Very possibly. They're looking really strong in the centre now. They've got their backs against this line of garrisons, and they are looking pretty formidable. Buildings are stronger, but so are counters. Somebody asked in chat about buildings. Every faction has really good flamethrowers in CoH3, which is a marked improvement over CoH2. There's a Wehrmacht mine or 2 set up there. That is a trap for anything that dares come this way. He's going to need this minesweeper engineer working overtime. Oh no. Here they come. The motor pool trio. Ah, the motor pool duo, I meant to say. The motor pool single unit soon. Oh dear. Jaegers with the Shrek. Oh no, that's a double verbal wind. A verbal wind posse, and Chaffee so lucky. If we check out the health on that, it won't be much. It was 10 out of 480. Mortars can't count to verbal winds, as evidence there. Jaegers are going to get forced away in no time. There we go. Ooh, 100 points remaining for Wehrmacht. Now they're going to have to do something drastic about victory points, aka cap more than one of them. Come on, Zulu, you can do this. It's basic arithmetic. You need 2/3 of the victory points. And he's cracked the Enigma. There we go. Well, he had the Enigma codes all along. He's put a new code into his Enigma. He's Wehrmacht. I mean, come on. And he's undecipherable now for another week at least. smoke's been utilised. Nice work. I just don't see Havok making a comeback into this. I think this is a victory point struggle win for Zulu because he just has so much more material. Unless we get easy 8s. Ooh, easy 8s is a good shout, actually. Multiple mines detonating. I think there's a friendly mine there. And he himself really got hurt to 1 down there. Victory point's gone back into Wehrmacht hands in the south. Double suppressed rifles. Grenade was tossed, though, well evaded by the MG. There's the motor pool trio back in action. We've got an M8 now as well. Another Marder, so it's 2 Marders, 2 Verbals. Rifles have overstayed their welcome there, but nothing should be able to kill them on retreat. Meanwhile, the Verbal Vin posse in the south. Just keep your rifle on this victory point. Don't even try and capture that mid-munitions. Why not? Havok's got bigger fish to fry in the centre. But that is, you know, pretty much... Oh, he's got 4 rifles total. I was going to say it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Real tough battle here. That's a low health church. He needs to be careful and gets out of there promptly. Got this Grenadier pushing quite far down south. We've got everything. We've got Bulwark. Still don't know how to say it. Got designate defensive line utilised there. So there you go. There's the defensive line around this fuel, meaning if he's within the confines of the house here. Do you know what he might want to do? If you destroy the houses, you can use them as green cover sometimes. I know who was the player? Charlotte deliberately destroys this house, by the way, whenever she can. And that is to basically mean you're not bottlenecked. One big problem with Bushido from north, still a problem, by the way, even though Relic have revised the map, is basically you're bottlenecked. Like, it's harder to get in, and the gaps are wider in the south, especially when this is destroyed. So it's a little bit tougher. I mean, obviously Zulu's not making it look tough. He's gotten over this hump. But basically, if you can destroy the hump, you can make Bushido easier for yourself from north. Artillery officer now. If you're watching from my chat, I do have an emote for this. It's AECO Wizard. Somebody could use it in chat. I'd much appreciate it. My script disables the use of my keyboard, so I can't go and type it for you. We've got an M1AT gun belatedly building there. That's showing a little bit of lack of confidence in his board of motor pool units, isn't it? He was able to capture 2 victory points. Nearly captured 2 victory points temporarily there. His opponent being down to 87. Ignore the colours of the victory points. They're the wrong in this game. But ignore them. It does show that he has the potential to possibly squeeze his opponent out on victory points. Oh, we've got a battle emerging in the south. The trees are in allied favour, though, because he can't get all of his material firing on Havok at the same time, can Zulu, and that means it was all attack ground shots and he was able to evade quite easily. Panzerschreck wasn't in position either. Mortar needs to get out of there at the moment. He's going to get targeted himself as everything pushes in. Engineer's in trouble. M8 also. Those new armoured skirts are really helping the M8s in this patch. Yeah, good shots on the Marders, keeping them off. And let's see how close Havok is to... There you go. He's 1 CP away from the easy 8. Just put an L before the 8. It's the easy late. Always feels far too late these days. And now that it's only an engineer and it's had its AoE nerfed, it does feel a little bit underwhelming, I'm going to say it. I think finally they made the easy 8 feel slightly underwhelming after it basically had a reign of terror that lasted probably around a year plus, because in all the pre-release versions of CoH3, and I'm not talking about 1.4, I mean the official release, which was 1.0 back in February 2023. Even before that, in beta and alpha, there you go, the Wizard's doing his wallolololololololo. But even before the actual official release, the Easy 8 was raining terror on everybody. So, yeah, seemingly since 1.3 it has been quelled somewhat. Dead rifles incoming. Come on, Havok. Yeah, no. He might die here. Oh, he vaulted. I think the vault saved him somehow. I'm going to say. That's my story anyway. Officer Wizard getting out of there. We've got the MG helping them out as well. Oh, nice! They find the mortar. They push in. They get the kill. Will the Shafi escape? Looks likely, unless the 2cm flak 30 can get the kill. Oh, no. Mortar had an angle on him. You see the problem with these buildings now. That's what I'm saying. This mortar dared be in front of them, and that was its doom. Good game so far. Mortar rebuilding now. Fuel-wise, we're at 44 for Havok. Zulu, however, has a mighty victory point. Sorry, mighty fuel count of 143. It's his victory points that are lacking on 76. Yep, might as well just stay behind heavy cover. Wait for backup. He's focus firing the Jaegers. Maybe not the best choice. Oh, the Jaegers going to try and risk their lives. Oh, they do, and they don't get the kill. How unfortunate. M1's pushed up rather too far there. Needs this mortar constantly firing. The mortar, by the way, has a nice amount of kills. 12 infantry kills, not too shabby. And more than enough to keep them at bay. We've got rapid fortifications being utilised. There. So that's AI-built bunkers, basically. Meanwhile, Havok didn't use his command points to get the Easy 8. Doesn't want it. He hasn't got enough fuel anyway. He needs 105 fuel, so I suppose no point in choosing it quite yet. Weird intonation in my voice there, but I've been casting a long time, so now my brain has fun when I'm talking. Basically, you get more eccentric the longer you do a commentary-based hobby. Okay, double mortar set up. Chaffee's going to have to... Oh, he's overstaying his welcome there. Meanwhile, officers pushed in. He's dropping arty on the M8s. One of them's Vet 3, by the way. Look at the power of the Vet 3 M8s. Absolutely eviscerating the Pioneer on retreat, by the way. Big moment here. Rifles have managed to cap the southwest victory point there. Greyhound goes down to the flak. And mortar has been quarterbacked there. Oh dear, that's Madden. Oh, what's Zulu doing? He's having lag. Needs to call Comcast. Complain. That's not good. There's phosphorus utilised on the rifles. We've got Shafi almost instantaneously building there with the click of the button. Because he does, of course, have fast deploy. Rifles using... Pour it on him. It's a Vet 3 rifle. Not the same as a CoH3 Vet 3 rifle, but Rangers are. Basically, in my opinion, Vet 3 Rangers are what Vet 3 rifles were in CoH1. This is just kind of like CoH2 Vet 3 rifles. It's nice to have, but it's not game-ending if you get one or lose one. Ooh, this rifle's not going to be Vet 3 for much longer. He's going to be very dead. How did he didn't survive that? There's your answer. These guys are backed against the wall. As I said earlier, that's a different... And he's tech grenades. There you go. Ooh, he couldn't get the kill, however, and he's reinforcing from the bunker. Oh, my. It's like the beach of the Volga in Stalingrad, isn't it? If your comrade drops the rifle, etc. That famous old cliche, which was pretty... horrifically realistic, unfortunately, for peasant Russians of 1942. More 41 recent, really. By 42, it was just Paulus and the Kessel eating little bits of bull's bone. Right then. Right, he's clicked the Easy 8 button. Now he needs to click this button here, but he can't yet. because he's building a bulldozer Sherman. There you go. That's a better idea, in my opinion. 90 fuel for something a little bit more countering whatever this is. It's a good idea. Get the bulldozer out, and it will begin to blap everything. Saying that, he needs to get his blapping on the go, because if you look at the big, beautiful TAC map, you can see that the Wehrmacht player, Zulu, is pushing to the river here. Bulldozer's out, though, and forces both units off. The push has been cancelled. Right, plucky engineers versus Vet 2 Pioneers in the north. He got his opponent down to 28 victory points. He just needs to do more. Meanwhile, from Zulu's perspective, he needs to try and keep something here. If he doesn't keep an MG or anything here, he's going to lose this game. This one isn't, to be honest, close enough to the victory point. IMO, if you're going to go for one of these kind of strats, you still have to have some of your Atlantic wall near the other victory point somehow. Because at one point, Havok is going to find his way through, and he's going to get both victory points on the peripheries. Just my opinion. There's the bulldozer lapping away, but look at the instant reinforce, it's ridiculous. And the artillery officer's currently wallowing all over the central victory point. The Shaffi's pushed in. We've got nice vision given by this rifle. He's evaded the circle, but engineer may die in the meantime. Right, the howitzer Sherman 105's ready to cause Germans to die. We've got the Marder firing through the gap there. 105 is getting phosphorused. It's in position. That is a verb, by the way. Now it is. And there it is! There's the cap I was worried about from Zulu's perspective. This was a great strat, but not the best execution. As I said earlier, you need 2/3 of the victory points, Zulu. It's basic math for you Americans. Doesn't matter about this alleged checkmate blow, because he's already going to lose this game. There you go, 25 and dropping. Vet 2 M1 doesn't want to lose that, and somehow doesn't. The Wizard's gaze. He was able to pass the limit of it. And here's a big battle. That's a Vet 2 Grenadier, though. It's up against a double bar Vet 2 Rifleman that's pouring it on him and his friends. Here comes the MG to help out the situation. We've had an grenade toss, though. Verbelwind has to do the damage. Now, everything's got to get on the victory points. And that's going to leave him with so few remaining. 2 riflemen are going that way. He could finish it off here if he pushes everything in at once. Phosphorus yet again used by the veteran Verbelwind Flakpanzer. What's he thinking here? Damaged engine. Greyhound's going north. To be honest, nothing's north now. There you go. Get rid of that pesky wizard. Another Marder building. That's going to be 3 Marders, 2 Verbelwinds. What a massive army that's going to leave him with. He's only got 81 pop cap. Some tuning needed there, Relic. Bloody hell. He's got a lot for what number it shows on the screen. Meanwhile, Havok at 74 now has a Hellcat as well. He needs a killing blow. He needs to go in big and deep on this victory point, in my opinion. It's a tough ask, however. And there you go, finally! He's worked out you can destroy the buildings. This is genius from Zulu. He's a learning AI. He's just only got a 32 kilobit processor or something. No, that's not how you measure processors. That's the RAM for his processor. And then it's a 1 megahertz processor. That makes sense. My analogy wasn't quite up to task. There's more to needing to back away from the circle of doom. Rifles pushing in, but there's phosphorus rounds galore. Is he going to push the button now on these tanks? Yes, he is. And they're rolling in. He's got to try and get rid of this Verbelwind. And then, there we go. He's pushed away the Vet 3 MG. That could be clutch. Meanwhile, Greyhound's going in from the north. Don't know what that's about. Maybe a distraction. Possibly. Only 2 Wehrmacht units there. All of this has to move to defend the victory points. Oh, 105 down. Come on, Havok, you can get in there. I think you could do it right now if you just pushed everything you've got to the victory point. Easy for me to say. I'm not watching with the stress of being there. And I've also got no fog of war to worry about. Oh, no. There is a Wehrmacht mine. That's all he's got there. This just isn't enough to defend the victory points. It's not enough. There's the Hellcat. There's the Verbal That's dead. All of this needs to react literally now. Thank God for that. Zulu's seen the danger, but it's not fast enough. Pioneers, Jaegers have all got to die on the line for the Reich. Here comes pretty much everything. It's a Control-A, Control-Q attack. Just like the RTSs your dad used to play. Meanwhile, Rifle's about to go... No, the Rifle survived. He's defending the line. Another mine. There's the artillery. There's a Verbal down. Hellcat's having some fun. There's a Vet 3. Whoa, there was a Vet 3. M1 temporarily. So, everything's dying. Just check the bloody unit cars. They're disappearing before your very eyes. Can the Vet 3 rifle survive? The crew members of the bloody MG are shooting him. I don't think that'll work. Meanwhile, the flak can't penetrate the Hellcat, I don't think. GG, well played, says Zulu, because he couldn't cap. And the victory point was neutralized somewhere else. And there you go, he won. I didn't quite catch that, the fact that that happened there, to my dismay. Let's quickly go on to Twitch and catch the very last seconds of what happened there. There must have been a sneaky, sneaky decap. Unfortunately, the action was too riveting where I was. Let's just quickly check that back on the instant replay. How the fuck did that happen? So he was neutral down... Oh, there you go. Just north of the picture. Because he Control-A, Control-Q'd everything, there was an infantry squad. And the pesky Greyhound. You can just see it on the minimap here. The pesky Greyhound snuck in. Not snecked in. Snecked in like a snake. He snuck in like a little snake. He neutralized. And because he was able to neutralize, the northern victory point caused the victory points to tick down to zero. It's been a long day, that's why I'm starting to mispronounce words. But all in all, that was a bloody good game. Thank you very much to, spoiler alert, Havok for giving us that replay. Let's quickly look at the stats now. And it's a sorry tale of affairs for Zulu, who should not have lost that game, in my opinion. I feel if he just kind of like defended the victory points a bit better... maybe his lack of CoH3 experience doesn't help there, because I think CoH3 was very victory point struggle orientated, and I think a lot of people that played CoH3 to a higher level are better at long 1 hour plus victory point style games. Not that the CoH1 didn't feature it, I just feel like the capping circle dynamics and throwing everything onto the line, like, I genuinely believe that is a skill. I've seen players that don't make the correct decisions at the correct point in time when the game devolves down into a stupid victory point struggle. And I've seen some of the best players in the world not being able to make those decisions. So you can be a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 on everything in terms of map control, strategy, tactics, gun battle engagements, everything. But if you're in an even battle... and then it becomes one of those stupid victory point clutch situations, and you make bad decisions, it all flies out the window. And I have a theory that maybe the CoH2 guys might be a little bit better than that, better than the CoH1 guys at those situations, just because CoH2 was a grind fest. Mostly because of the combat mechanics inherent to CoH2. It had much bigger rubber... Well, CoH1 didn't have rubber band mechanics. It had... it had obviously call-in units and stuff like that, but inherently, the more map you controlled, the more pop cap you were allowed, and stuff like that. So it was very difficult to come back in CoH1. In CoH2, it was kind of the opposite. You got way more manpower for how little of the army you had and stuff like that. Well, upkeep was a thing in CoH1 as well, but just trust me, the rubber band mechanics were way bigger in CoH2. So all these CoH2 guys are a little bit more kind of switched on, maybe, when it comes to clutch victory point situations. That was a long rant for a very small point, but I like to try and justify myself when I've said something So yeah, it was a decent game, that. Hopefully you enjoyed it on YouTube. My brain has turned to utter mush, and I've not done much today, so hopefully I've not got some kind of degenerative illness. But yeah, my brain's turned to mush, and I'm no longer able to articulate single-word sentences, so not great. But it's been a good weekend. Started it by getting really, really drunk on Friday, Christmas party vibes. And then Saturday, I basically recovered. And today, I've done a few bits of DIY, which is British for I've drilled into my wall and put something up on the wall. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been not a bad day. I'm brainstorming, though, with you guys because, of course, I've started this new championship system. And in my opinion, the 1v1 side's much easier to run. I've got Ferrigy and Havok are going to play each other for the rights to contend the championship versus Orange Pest. But the 2v2 side's really difficult. I've noticed that there's a couple of players I've never heard of from the ASII clan that look pretty decent, like Anthrax and his teammates. And there's a few others I've got my eye on. But to be honest, 2v2 seems more difficult to figure out who's who and who should be contending. So if you've got any tips for me on really good 2v2 players that should be contending for the championship, give me a shout. Aziligath, you and Thomas are definitely good players, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see you in a battle versus somebody like... who did I have the other day? It was Daniel D and Twister. I think that would be great. But I think you may have some improving to do to match Zulu and Smoko by the looks of things. Zulu and Smoko were playing like a very decent 2v2 team, a la maybe like an Ashablar Brosras. Not quite as good as that, actually, but like kind of looking like they could be nearly as good as that in time. So they look really decent, and that's annoying because I'm pretty worried that the standard won't be there for the team play and for the incisiveness and the synergy, which is what you need to be a really good 2v2 team. So yeah, if you can get the training and you can get the theory behind your training, because 2v2 is a whole different kettle of fish, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into it to be a really good 2v2 player. And you, as I say, you have to work on so many elements of your game that you don't usually work on. So yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, by all means, and I can get you playing. I've got a few other people that have already said they want to play. I've got Raw11, who was an excellent Co1 player, but I've never heard of his teammate Miko. So it might be a bit of a like a top-heavy team there. But you and Thomas would be good teammates. I think you're pretty similar standard of play. So yeah, it'd be interesting to get you playing. See if you can go into a contender battle maybe. I'd like that. But yeah, that's the end of my stream. My brain's a bit mushy today for some reason, so I'm going to host my main man, Olvady, who is over here. There we go. Oh, no. Is that not his name? It is. There we go. Let's raid Olvady. And thank you for watching. If my brain wasn't so mushy, I'd carry on, but I can't, sorry. And thanks for watching on YouTube. I'm going to stop the recording now. Cheers, guys. Have a lovely start to your weeks. Cheers. Bye-bye.